Back at North Hollywood at Forest Lawn Cemetery. Check out this old carriage. They still use it as of this day, and got a beautiful draft horse. We're going to start out at the Columbarium of Radiant Dawn. As you enter this area, there are several celebrities interned in here. Look to the right along the right wall. You want to look for the name Novak. Just to the right of this individual is the original resting place of Lucille Ball. In 2003, the family relocates Lucille to Jamestown, New York. This is where her parents and her grandparents, and she has one brother buried in Jamestown, New York. Lucille Ball. Now, if you go to the back wall here of this location, if you look up a few rows, you'll find the resting place of Forrest Tucker of F Troop. Forrest Tucker. You can catch F Troop in reruns. If you stay in this same area, still the back wall, head towards the corner. And on the right hand side, you'll find the resting place of Dennis James. He's originally from New Jersey, moves to New York, starts out in life as an announcer. Later on, he would work as a fill-in host for Let's Make a Deal with Monty Hall. Also, he would fill in for Bob Barker on The Price is Right. Eventually, he would host the nighttime Price is Right. Dennis James. If you stay in the same area, the far left wall as you enter this area, look for this statue, and then directly underneath the statue, you'll find the resting place of Walter Lantz. He was the creator voice of Woody Woodpecker. Walter Lantz. Albert Broccoli produced all the James Bond movies. As we go down this walkway, on the left is another crypt area. This one's called Columbarium of Providence. And as we enter, if we make an immediate left, sharp left turn, in the corner we'll find the grave location of Bobby Troup and his wife Julie London. They both played in Emergency. Bobby's actually a singer and songwriter, and he wrote a song for Route 66. Plays Dr. Joe Early in Emergency. Julie's also a singer in life, and she plays Nurse Dixie McCall, as you may recall. She's one time married to Jack Webb of Dragnet, but she's married to Bobby for 40 years until his death. Bobby Troup, Julie London. Stay in this same area, go back to the opposite corner. You'll find the resting place of Rod Steiger, one of Hollywood's most respected actors. He plays over 100 characters. Married 5 times, ends up dying of pneumonia and kidney failure. Rod Steiger. Going to use the James Bond guy again as a reference point. Albert Broccoli. If you come over to Sanctuary of Salvation and enter, walk back towards the statue, about as far as you can go, and on the left hand side, if you look up about 3 or 4 rows, you'll find the resting place of Carol Vitale. She was a 1972 Playmate, Playboy Bunny. Later, she would have a short-lived talk show as well. She ends up taking her own life. She was suffering from lupus and some other health issues. Carol Vitale. Straight across from Debbie Reynolds and daughter Carrie Fisher. On the opposite side, as you come down this area, and if you look left, you'll find a Hollywood writer, producer, and director, Buck Henry. Buck Henry. Just to the left here is Lou Rawls. Straight ahead is Andy Gibb. Check my channel out for other videos too. Here we're with Lee Van Cleef, one of my favorite actors. Best of the Bad. He played in some Clint Eastwood movies. Quite a character actor. Usually played a tough bad guy. Lee Van Cleef. This next one was difficult to find. I was looking for the location of Cheerio Meredith. Her last name's actually Ely. She gets the nickname Cheerio because as a child, she was very cheery. I played in the Andy Griffith Show. I've seen her in some episodes with the Three Stooges as well. She had other recurring roles in Western movies. Cheerio Ely. I want to show you where Roy Disney's buried. If you come to these two trees and walk up about 15 rows, you'll find Walt's older brother, Roy Disney. It was Roy that came out to Hollywood first, actually. Roy's more on the business side of the corporation, the Disney Corporation. Walt enjoyed the creative side. It was Roy Disney that found the acreage where Disneyland sits today. He also found the property where Disneyland or Disney World is in Florida. It was also Roy Disney that secured the financing for both projects. Roy went to Walt and convinced him to do something in Florida. Florida being a tourist type area, tourist state, Roy thought it would be a wise move. So that ends up happening. So October 1971, after Walt's death, Walt dies 1966. October 1971, Roy dedicates Disney World. And then December 20th, less than 2 months later, he dies. Walt Disney is not buried at this memorial park. He's over in Glendale, California, along with some other Disney legends that we'll visit with. We're now on the east side of the cemetery. The traffic you see in the foreground, that is Interstate 134. And right across 134 is Disney Studios. And then in this cemetery, there are several Disney legends buried here. Here we have Jimmy Dodd. He dies 1964 of cancer while living in Hawaii. He was only 54 years old. Jimmy Dodd was quite a songwriter. He wrote over 400 songs. Some of them were recorded by Nashville country music artists. Had a big heart for children. He wrote the opening theme song to the Mickey Mouse Club, and that is the same song they would use to close the show. Jimmy Dodd. Now we'll head up this hill and we'll go find Roy Williams, the Musketeer. Straight ahead is Liberace, and to the left of this area, Roy Williams, the Big Musketeer. Lives from 1907, dies 1976. When Roy Williams was in the military, he designed over 100 insignias. Walt Disney sees this, notices the talents, and recruits Roy Williams to work for him as an artist. Roy also worked as an entertainer. He was part of the Mickey Mouse Club for 4 years. It was also Roy Williams that designed the hat with the Mickey Mouse ears. I just counted 110 steps from where Roy is. Back left-hand corner, we'll find Ub Iwerks. He's an artist. He's working for a Kansas City newspaper. And Walt Disney's family moves to Kansas City. One day, Walt picks up the newspaper and notices the talents of Iwerks. Gets a hold of him, offers him the job as chief artist. Iwerks takes him up on this. One of the first projects he did was the Mickey Mouse drawing. Walt's version, in my humble opinion, just looked kind of mean. But by the time Iwerks was done with Mickey, he looked warm, friendly, and definitely kid-friendly. So he had a positive impact as we see Mickey Mouse today. He had a long career with the Disney Corporation. Ub Iwerks, a Disney legend. Today I'm in San Fernando Mission Hills Cemetery in San Fernando, California. First up today, we're going to visit with William C. Frawley. Fred Mertz plays the grouchy Tightwad landlord in I Love Lucy. He also plays Bub in My Three Sons. He does an album, you can find it on YouTube. It's worth a listen. He has a great baritone voice. William Frawley, probably unlike you've ever seen him before. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Famous Graves with Diamond Dave. Up next, we have George Gobel. George is an actor, comedian, television producer. He has a weekly television series called The George Gobel Show that ran from 1954 until 1960. He also starred in some movies. One was The Birds and the Bees. George Gobel is one time a country singer, but he can act better than he can sing. He produces Leave It to Beaver. He also appears in some game shows such as Hollywood Squares. George Gobel. While we're in this area, just a few rows up and a few rows over, we'll find a grave location of not really a famous actor or singer, but here we're at the gravesite of William Parker, LAPD police chief. He serves as a chief of police from 1950 until his death in 1966. He's LA's longest serving police chief and also the most controversial. His department was known nationwide for police brutality and racism. Chief William Parker. Now we're at Ed Begley. A lot of his graveyard channels will use Find a Grave to find the grave locations. It's accurate about half the time. Ed Begley stars in 12 Angry Men, along with Henry Fonda, also co-stars in Sweet Bird of Youth with Paul Newman. Next up is a Hollywood character actor originally from Nashville, Tennessee, James Westerfield. He has some bit parts in some westerns, Hang 'em High with Clint Eastwood, True Grit with John Wayne. He also had some starring parts in The Andy Griffith Show. One is The Family Visit. James Westerfield, let me know if you recognize him. Up towards the front of the cemetery, at the main entrance, we'll find the location of Jane Wyatt. She plays in Father Knows Best from 1954 through 1960. She wasn't typecasted either because she continued on and starring roles. 1962, she plays in Wagon Train, The Heather Mahoney Story. A year later, 1963, she plays Kitty McMullen in the movie Going My Way. And then she stars in The Virginian in 1964 as Sarah Brightmar. Jane Wyatt. Just can't leave today without stopping by and paying my respects to Richie Valens, the most visited grave here in this cemetery, buried next to his mother. This is the first time I've been here when there were no flowers on his grave. Richie Valens.